Okay. All right, Shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh. Shem Shai Ba'ashem Rakakodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And we out here once again. We're gonna get right into it. You can see in the title, coming in hot, and that's pretty much how these prophecies are coming. Right, they're coming in hot, and they only gonna come in hotter and hotter and hotter as we get closer and closer to that end time. Now, just I think a day or two ago, they passed that was it Genius Act or so, for regulating stablecoin, and we see. Matter of fact, let's actually start with that scripture. It says that see the prudent man see if the evil afar off, and then and hide of himself. His spirit's like the wind, But so we're able to see ahead, right? What's coming when they start, taking these steps, right? It's like you watching a certain direction in which something is going. Like if you see a cart, right, that gets on chalk and it starts going back, you already know, yeah, it's gonna crash into that tree or whatever, right? So it's the same thing. Like the Lord has blessed us with the eye salve to be able to see the things afar off and warn you about them, right? But a lot of people are stuck in this this tunnel vision of wickedness to where they can't see anything past their day-to-day life. And that's what's going to be ultimately to their detriment. So, got that? Get that.
Proverbs chapter 22, verse 3. A prudent man foreseeth the evil,
Right.
and hideth himself.
Now you good. A prudent man foreseeth the evil. Why? Because a prudent man is one that is watching. And first and foremost is one that is aware of the times that he's living in. It tells you that in the book of Ephesians, I believe it's the 5th chapter, to basically be circumspect, right? For the days are evil, redeeming the times because the days are evil. So looking at the things happening in the world and understanding that we're in some evil times, you're constantly looking ahead as to what's coming down, right? What's coming down? What's the next thing that's about to take place? And so that allows that prudent man to foresee the evil, right? And seeing all the current actions, he's able to see how it is going to end out, right? If this was to take a left turn, how left would it really go? And if that happened, what am I going to do?
That reminded me of Joseph, Egypt, being able to foresee the famine. When the Lord put the spirit on him to break that dream down, he was able to foresee and prepare. So spiritually, we're doing that now. And I had a precept to add. Wisdom of Solomon 8 and 8. If a man desire much experience, he knoweth things of old, and conjectureth aright what is to come. She knoweth the subtleties of speeches and can expound dark sentences. She foreseeth signs and wonders and the events of seasons and times. Yeah, so that's an aspect of wisdom. It's prophecy, being able to break down things to come, expounding dark sentences. Well, what is the hour of temptation? What is the MOTB? What are all these things? What does it all mean?
Right.
Seeing things in the news and saying, oh, that's a sign of something to come. Whereas other people will just pass on and not consider what they're witnessing. The job of the prophets is to look between, read between the lines and look behind the headlines,
right,
and see what's really going on. This is what they're putting on the forefront, or what's really happening in the background.
Right, exactly. Point. Like that.
Proverbs chapter 22, verse 3. A prudent man foreseeth the evil.
Let's look into that word prudent. Read that.
And hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished.
So how does a prudent man hide himself? Right. First and foremost, with the covering of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, right? They take the covering of the Lord, and the way they do that is to prepare. Right? They prepare so that the evil that they foresaw will not affect them. Okay, at least to the best of their ability. So there are certain evils that you can't carnally prepare for, but that's why you prepare by building your faith up in the Lord and seeking the Lord while He may be found, so that when the evil days come, He may cover you and prevent you from being harmed in those times. But a lot of people today, they don't take that covering. They don't care enough to look ahead, see what's coming to affect them. So when famines take place, they're going to be subject to that, right? They're going to suffer the having to go days without eating or drinking water, and being in that torment, in that agony, not knowing what to do or where to go for help. And that desperation is going to make them succumb to whatever Esau demands. So if he says, come and take an implant, they're going to go and take an implant. Because in their mind, it doesn't look. It's not to them like this is I don't want to do it, but then I'm kind of forced to do it. They're gonna be like, oh, this is hope. Like I was dying of thirst, and somebody just found me and brought me hope. That's how Esau is gonna present himself to them. Got it.
I didn't really see nothing there, so I just like etymology.
Okay.
It says the word prudent originates from the Latin word prudens, probably with the accent, a contraction of province meaning foresight or acting with foresight.
There you go. Foresight or acting with foresight, and that's very important. Somebody that is able the when you go even into history, some of the best people that outsmarted and outwitted others, whether it was on the geopolitical level or whatnot, even in government or whatever position they were in, it was because they were always seeing 10 steps ahead. Okay, they didn't plan halfway; they planned all the way to the end. So that meant, all right, if this is your end goal and this is the current situation, what are the contingency plans, right? What happens if this goes wrong? What do you do? Okay, can you get it back on track? Do you have to abandon the original plan and switch to another one? And they have all of those things in mind. So whenever the situation comes upon them, they're not dumbfounded, right? They're not like stuck, like, oh shit, what do we do? There's more on that.
Shalom.
Continue. This Latin term is derived from pro, meaning ahead, and verde, meaning to speak.
Mhm.
Therefore, Therefore, the etymology, Salakia, prudence signifies seeing ahead or having the ability to anticipate future events and act accordingly.
And that's the ability that's been given to the prophets, right? Because the Lord, like the brother Isaiah read about wisdom, the Lord imputing wisdom into us, right, has allowed us to be able to see ahead, for us to be able to understand dark thing in the scriptures that reveal to us the things that are going to happen very soon, and that way we can better prepare ourselves for those times. That was on that.
Yeah.
All right, Justin.
Just going into the word prudent in the blue letter, it's R1, and it says subtle, shrewd, crafty, sly, sensible. And then when you go down to the lexicon, it says, in a good sense, prudent, cautious. And it reminded me, because it says there's a good sense and a bad sense.
Right.
Because you could be like Esau, for example, is prudent in the sense of they map things out way ahead.
Right.
And they looked at like their agendas. They already had this, what they want to do now. They already mapped that out a while ago. But they're prudent in the wicked sense. They're trying to destroy.
Sorry.
So the prudence that the Lord gave us is to be preserved from all of that destruction and the evils that they're bringing.
And just when you said that, I got a precept for you on that. I know I got it actually. Psalm 64. You can start at you can start at 1, because this is an example of the prudence on the left hand side. The Most High, he definitely gave Esau that craftiness on the left hand side, and he had to, right? That's why he was more cunning than any beast of the field. He had to be like that because he was going to be the one, the chosen one, the anointed cherub to bring about these end time prophecies. Go ahead.
So this is the book of Psalms, chapter 64 and 1, and it reads, "Hear my voice, O God, in my prayer. Preserve my life from fear of the enemy."
Yeah, and that's the same thing we hope the Lord is going to do for us, right? He's going to preserve our life from fear of the enemy, because we know the enemy has some pretty wicked thoughts and inventions and devices conjured up against us. Go ahead.
Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity.
And they have these secret councils, right? Before they come out with the new legislations and the new direction of things they want to go in, they have a council about it behind closed doors. That's why it's a secret council. And in those councils, they identify, okay, well, what do they want to do? How are they going to do it? And when are they going to do it? What's the time frame that they want? And so as King David said here, hide me from those secret councils, because they're going to have those councils, and it's mainly going to target Israelites. But when they try to enact it, right, the Lord should basically exempt us from that, so that we may be delivered from it, because they act on a world scale. They act on a systemic level, and we're individuals, right? We don't have that kind of power. So we need the Lord to have certain events go a certain way so that we may be preserved. Like they set up the whole child support system, That's a part of the different uh, points that came out of those secret councils on how to destroy the family home, right? The gender wars, pitting the man against the woman. Now, on almost every comment board you go on, if you see a video, almost every comment board you go on, there's going to be somebody on there talking about this is happening because of men. You know what I'm saying? Like, here it is, you got a woman eating abominable food, she gets sick, and that's a man's fault. You know, and then vice versa. So it's a constant gender war back and forth everywhere. I saw a video of a chick. She was holding up the train, and from what you see in the video, it looks like she's just holding the train to like, and people are upset. So apparently she had been doing it for a while. And a dude, you know, he had his backpack on. He looked like he wasn't trying to have it. So he basically grabs the two railings and he just gives her the Spartan kick straight up. You know, she flies boom like some slow motion Neo shit from the Matrix, and it falls on the platform. And then somebody in the back is like, "Thank you," and then the doors close and they leave. Now, all you see in the comment board is, "Oh, you know, he shouldn't do that to her, and she's weak. What if she had died?" And then there's this back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Either way, this pitting of man against women in the ancient world, it wasn't really like that. All right, in the ancient world, it was a union. That's why the scriptures say that a man shall leave his mother and father and cleave unto his wife, and they shall become one flesh. So it was a union that this devil broke to cause more division and weaken the the nations, and really starting with Israel. So what's one example of the Lord hiding us from that? They've set up a system of child support. They've set up a system that is against the Israelite man. Well, the Lord will have it to where you're preserved from that. You may meet a chick, and in her mind, she may actually be trying to trap you and have you end up in that situation. And the Lord might have something happen to where maybe there's a disagreement and you guys go your separate ways. And so though they've enacted a system to where if she was able to ensnare you, you would be subject to the outcome of their wicked counsels. Now the Lord has delivered you or hid you from that. So in the hiding of the elect from these secret councils, it's not that the Lord wouldn't have Esau's plans come to pass, but when they do come to pass, you'd be delivered from it. So you might go into court and you might win the case.
Just to add to your point, we went into the word prudent, and another one of the definitions, it said sly. And when you go into the word sly, basically it's a kind of certain type of deception where you're not putting all your cards out on the table. Right? You're being secretive about certain things. So really, the elites do that, and we do that, but we do it on the opposite end. So they do it for a wicked purpose. We do it for a righteous purpose. And I have the word here for cunning, which is tied to the word sly. With the word sly, it says having or showing a cunning and deceitful nature, right? And then when you go to the word for cunning, it says having or showing skill and achieving one's end by deceit or evasion. And the etymology, basically the word cunning is connected to when you're ready to strike or a certain strike, right? So they'll wait, just like a serpent. They'll wait, and then when they see their opening, they'll go. And in the same sense, we don't disclose everything that we're about, and that's why you telling too much to certain people could be detrimental to yourself. That's why we have to have a certain level of wisdom and righteous cunning, righteous guile. You know, in the scriptures, the men of the Lord at times they use deception, in a righteous sense, like David. When he was behind enemy lines, I believe he was amongst the Philistines, right?
Yeah.
And he scrabbled on the gate. He acted like he was a madman, right? He said, "Why did you bring this madman to play the fool in front of me?" But David was not really mad. He was playing the part in order to preserve himself. And sometimes we do the same. We play stupid. Right. I don't know nothing about that. Israelites, what's that about? A word? Yeah, tell me more about that. Right. You talk to certain people, because when you're going to go to your job and tell your boss, I'm a Hebrew Israelite. Boss up on him, you're going to lose your job, bro. You got to have a certain level of understanding, and that's where cunning, you know when to hold back, you know when to strike, you know how to deal in different situations.
Prudency of us, we go to work, like you said, we don't announce it, and nor do we walk down the block on our day-to-day lives with our garments on the promote, because it's like you're targeting yourself. So, we do things on the cunning side, being elusive, but it's it's also the faith is cunning too because it's invisible. It's a weapon that we possess that's invisible, right? But it's effective to the point where to have faith is a spiritual thing. And it's a something that we see that the natural man don't see. 2/3 choose to hide themselves behind carnal weapons, uh, shelter. They like, yo, I got a crib upstate in the mountains or something. But we deal with the faith, and that's a form of hiding ourselves in the scriptures and in the truth and the power of the Most High. Quick precept to what I'm saying is First Corinthians 2:11, where it says, "But the natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of Yahweh, for they are foolishness unto him." Right. So what we think of as a power which we hide ourselves, or we hide in the truth and hide it behind the Lord to protect ourselves, they look at that as mythical or something that is not worthy of doing because it's not going to save them, right? So that's what they mean. It's foolishness unto him. And it says, reading on, neither can he know them because they are spiritually discerned. Right. So these things that we know, the natural man, 2/3 of our people, they don't know. And these other nations, they don't know. They look at that as like something that is unfounded, you know. So when we hide ourselves in the scriptures, we was talking about on the way coming here how, you know, scriptures is a scientific book, right? Going according to certain things that we did. The Lord says, shit makes certain fabrics, and we try to live by that. From down the whole linen outfit, and it has a different vibration to it. So these things that they don't look at that, they figure the more you pay for something, it's what you're getting is better for you, mind, body, and spirit. But the polo garments is completely mixed up. It ain't even 100% cotton, but you pay a lot for it. So those things we look into as far as the truth is concerned, and the spiritual discernment. That's
Right. Beautifully said. Beautifully said. Let's get into here we go. Oh, Psalm 64. That's what you want. Yeah. Go back into it.
This is Psalm 64:3, and it reads, "Who whet their tongue like a sword,
Yeah, the word wet, WHET, means to sharpen. Right? So they sharpen their tongue like a sword. Go ahead.
and bend their bows to shoot their arrows."
Mhm.
Even bitter words.
Yeah, and those bitter words. So why would we care about their bitter words? What are some examples of their bitter words? Their demonization tactics and their legislations that they set up, right? Because when they describe us, they describe us in a negative light, right? They describe us as like a hate group and bigots and X, Y, and Z. But really, if you were to come up and listen to the things that are being said, if you go and listen to what they're teaching the Amalekite children in them classrooms, that's where you'll find the description that you are trying to label us over there. Okay, but if you come here, we go into the scriptures breaking down each verse so you can understand what it means. But it'll say that these guys are anti this, anti that, this phobia. I got you. This phobia, that phobia, to make us look negative, right? Those are bitter words. And then, as it mentions, they whet their tongue like a sword. So they demonize certain categories, and then they label you as that. And then after that, they set up legislations to try and ensnare and entrap you.
Yeah, I was gonna say I mentioned this in one of my latest videos. Excuse me, is about pretty much a public image. Right now, the thing about Esau Edom, they like having a public image. There's a reason why, whether it be a president, whether it be celebrities, they have somebody that's over them that tells them, "Hey, go here." Right. Most notably, like when it calls for for them to go to like a school or whatever, right? They have to keep that public image up, that image of, hey, this is a person, a man of the community, right? He's a man of the people. Or like I mentioned, that one guy, the guy, maybe he's gonna be the mayor, Zoran Donnie.
Yeah.
Yeah, you ever realize how with them commercials, they're always like, what, amongst the people, it's all smiles and things like that. That's to have a
certain image of them, right? Have them in a good light. But like you were mentioning, what they want labels, things like that, that is also a public image, but it's a negative image. These guys are mean, they're nasty. Look at what they do. Look at how they talk to people. When they come with this persecution, they're not going to get moments where we're breaking things down. No, they're going to get moments where maybe a brother was yelling a little, yelling at somebody. Maybe he was, his face is getting intense and he's looking at people like, and going like this. They're going to get those type of moments to have that image of, hey, an image of negativity.
Yep. And at the end of the day, guess what? Which country have we bombed? You know what I'm saying? Who have we dropped nuclear bombs on? Who have we rounded up and thrown in internment camps? Who have we gone and injected them with dangerous bees to experiment? Who have we done trials on in order to come up with a antidote or whatever the case is? You've done all those things, right? Who have we put chemicals in the air that they breathe? Who have we poisoned the food that they eat? Who have we put freaking flint inside of their water? Who have we done all that to? Who do we spy on 24/7? Who do we send agents into their lives to mess with them? But yet we are the worst people on the planet Earth, and we're so dangerous. And yet you guys are the top criminals of the planet. You go and terrorize other countries. Who have we said is fabricated lies about, and then gone into their country, invaded them, and bombed them? And they're like, "Yo, bro, we're a sovereign nation. We don't need you up in here." But when we speak on that, we're the evil ones.
Yeah, I was going to mention real quick, without saying the word, but they're going to label us T's. But think about it. You've had T's here for almost 30 plus years here in America. You ain't do nothing to them. They're so dangerous, but y'all ain't do nothing to them. Right. They ain't do nothing for 30 plus years. How long has this ministry been going on? I'm just going to say for 30 plus years, I ain't do nothing to them. What's up with that? Maybe they ain't that dangerous.
Yeah, but it's the information. It's the information that's terrorizing them. And that's why they want to come against it. But that's because it's really from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Get this up and down there. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to say, laying back in Shalom's point, that's why they have to fabricate things. That's why they're making shit up to demonize us, because they don't have anything on us. The agents, whoever they have assigned to look at us, they're like, man, this guy lives a boring life, bro. Right. He just goes out, teaches, he's doing these lessons, he goes to the gym, he goes to work, he goes home, like, damn, give me something to work with. We ain't giving them nothing. The spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. That's why the scripture says, I forget how it's phrased, but basically that the ministry not be blamed, that we mind how we move. Because, ultimately, it's not just us. It's not just you on the line. It's the men that's all around you and all of us that are a part of this. Right. That's on the line. So we have to work like, man, if I do something bad, it's going to be a stain on all of my brothers around me. Right.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Thing about us is like an umbrella. So, one person do something, it's like the whole nation will look at that one person categorize. Right. So when y'all fallouts and y'all bug outs do stuff, man, y'all don't know what kind of stigmata y'all put on us, man. People look at us, first thing they say is, oh, y'all them guys with the purple shirt. And we gotta quickly correct them, like, no. And it's the whole process of us doing that, because we like, no, their problem is with how they teach it is watered down or diluted. And, it kind of discourages us, other people that want to come in. So the best bet is to stick to the basics and don't try to be glorified and trying to make this a Americanized nation, because we're not American. We're a nationality that a chosen people.
That's right. I told that.
They told that. Okay. Yeah, well, we are legal citizens, but according to the bloodline, we're a nation of people that are black folk. So we come under the disguise of like, look, okay, y'all got whatever. We follow the rules. We don't do nothing. That's keeping it basic. All right, you're sticking to the scriptures. Nothing outside the doctrine. And it ain't no such thing as you ain't this movement of ours, right? Right? This ain't no movement. This is a nationality. You can't give up your bloodline. Right? Only Esau did that, and that was the worst thing that he could have done. All right, that you sold your birthright is the worst thing that you could do. But we not doing that.
Not a wave, it's an ocean.
Yeah, he's just looking for a way to justify him not being a part of it. That's all. That's all it is. But I mean, we saw it coming from a mile away. Right? The apostles, brothers, been saying it for a long time that it's just a matter of time. How many times did you hear the elders say the Lord's going to break that group up? He's going to break up that group. He's going to break up that group. And where they at now? They're gone. Dismantled. You know, so the Lord never fails when it comes to that.
I was meditating on this last night while I'm about to mention it. I knew he was going to come up as well, but like something I was thinking about, he could be used during the time of persecution.
Oh yeah.
And the reason why I say that is because essentially he's been known, or he's put himself out there as a guy about money. So he could just be going out there, or Esau could use it. Because think about it. Yeah, Esau hates our people, but it's like, you're already dead. So it's like, and when I mean dead, meaning spiritually dead. So it's like, why do I have to kill you? No, I could just use you to get your other people as well, right? Because it makes no sense to kill you when you're more useful to a degree, a lot. So, hey, he's a person about money. So, hey, he could be used during time of persecution. Hey, roll up on something. Buy me such and such. Hey, you may know Hebrew Israelites, you may have their numbers. Hey, you know, maybe trap them somehow and make call them to come somewhere. You know, I don't have the idea entirely up here like that, what could happen, but he could be used essentially for the persecution to, like, you know, hey, toss him some money and he'll ride out on some people, roll up on some people.
Of course. Like in that TV show, the one that we went for season 2 of, Supercell. Yeah, like how he had that yeah, I forgot his name.
I know you're talking about with the son.
No, the other guy. No, the evil guy.
Crazy.
Yeah, crazy. He was really like, when he came back from jail or wherever, he basically acted like he was back in the hood, like back with his boys and shit. Meanwhile, the whole time he was undercover, you know, for basically for Esau. But as you always see in those kinds of even if they show you in those movies and shows, what ends up happening to that guy who ends up working for Esau? Eventually he fails. And then when he fails, they basically just dispose of him. Yeah. And that's the same thing that you saw at the end. He said, yo, give me one more chance. Get the hell out of here, one more chance. And it was the Edomite woman on top of that. And she euthanized him. So if you think that, and that's why it says in 2 Ezra 16, they that consent unto them shall be had under derision. You're going to think that you can save your hide by agreeing with Esau and he'll spare you. That's not, the Most High is the one who decides who gets spared or not. I will have mercy upon whom I will have mercy, and compassion upon whom I will have compassion. Anyway, where we at? Got
that they may shoot in secret.
Psalm 64:4.
Show you.
No, keep going.
That they may shoot in secret at the perfect.
And that's what they do. You're not gonna see the Rothschild family, right, or the Rockefellers or the Gettys or the DuPonts. You're not gonna see them come out on freaking Fox News talking about, yeah, it's our plan to really get rid of these guys on the street corners. No, they're a problem. They're not gonna do that, and they're also not gonna come out, and at least they haven't so far, and just say directly it's specifically just these Hebrew Israelites, because they want to do it in secret. Okay. Because they have to be careful how they go about it. They don't want to attract too much attention to it. And at the same time, they still want to have an effective means of getting us to stop pushing this word. So that's why they'll come up with broad blanket statements that they can try to push us under that umbrella. You know, so all of a sudden, there's this anti-Amalek situation is going on, and we got to stop anti-Amalek in general. Meanwhile, the same thing with, like, that's what they did with Daniel, right? No, you can't pray or make petition to any other gods. Oh, Slaki, I didn't see you there, Haran, but I think you see I end up. Let me finish this point. I got you. But basically, you know, you can't make petition to any other god or anything of that sort for X amount of time, knowing that was what Daniel always did. Who else really in the kingdom would that mainly affect save Daniel? So that's the same thing that they're doing. Now, they didn't just say, let's just throw Daniel in jail specifically. They had to find a roundabout way to do it. That's the same tactic that Esau is trying to use now.
Didn't they do that? Sorry, I don't want to miss the point.
Yeah.
Didn't they do that specifically to trap Daniel up? Yep. Like they saw him praying to the Lord, and same thing. They're observing us, and they're like, "Yo, we gotta figure out a way to trap them.
Yeah, and that's why they use the anti-S, because they're like almost all aspects of the scriptures, most of it, if you want to explain it, it ties in some way, shape, or form back to anti-S, all right, or back to S or E, because he's one of the main characters in the book. So when we go into like, well, you got to repent. Why are people destroyed? Well, why are our people destroyed? Well, can't tell you that. Yeah, you got it, bro.
Hey, Khan, Shalom, Yabashmi Ashar Brakatam. Y'all can hear me all right?
Yep.
Khan, beautiful. And yeah, the point that you were making in regards to Psalm 64, all right, where it says that they shoot, suddenly do they shoot at the righteous? All right, so basically, when you go into that word shoot, I believe in the Hebrew, it goes back to basically pointing the finger, right? So you got basically like you brother said, like the accusation, the false accusations that's going to be arising very soon, just like they did with Daniel, all right, just like they did with the 3 holy children, okay, just like they've done in so many different captivities. They try to do that with during the time of Esther, right, with Mordecai and so on and so forth. So we've seen a history of our people standing up for righteousness and the system plotting against us, all right, in the sense that they will come up and falsely accuse us to make us seem like we are the scum of the earth, we are the threats of society, we are pretty much the problem in society that needs to be eliminated, okay? But the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemiah Shai will defend us, okay? Because we are innocent in the eyes of the Lord, all right? There's a book of Revelation chapter 12 verse 10. It says, "And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our power." See, like you were saying, these kinds of words that we're bringing out will always sound like anti-Sem, because the center of our doctrine is the return of our Lord and the establishment of the kingdom of Israel. Okay, and with that comes the destruction of this place, right? A new system being set up, a new heaven, a new earth, right? The enslavement of these nations, all right? So them being subject to our laws, statutes, and commandments, all right? All these things, when you culminate it, it sounds like it sounds like what they say, oh, anti-Semitic. Why? Because they are the ones who are ruling. So if they're the ones who are ruling and we're saying that there's a ruler coming to uproot them, then that is a threat to them. So in order for them to be justified in what they're going to do to us, they have to create a narrative. They have to come up with a narrative, all right, and push it to the world to convince them that, yes, these men are the problem and we have to pay attention to them instead of them, right? Because all fingers are pointed to them now. All eyes are on them. So they have to divert the attention just like they always do. Okay, deception, all right, being in secret, okay, death, destruction, all these different things. Okay, so it says here, it says, "And the power of his anointed, for the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our power day and night." Okay, so the same concept of being accused is what's written in Psalm 64, where it says they shoot, all right, even bitter words. Okay, those accusations, those fake, false, made-up narratives that they're going to be using against the men of the Lord to persecute us, man. Okay, but Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, being the true and only God there is, he's going to be on our behalf, man. That's why he said, even when they arrest you and they take you in and they imprison you for 10 days, all that, just be faithful unto me and I'll take care of the rest. Okay, and if that's all we got to do, then, hey, we've been faithful to the Lord now. When the time comes, it's just basically saying, just finish what you've been doing. You've been doing this whole time. There's nothing new. All right, the Lord's not going to switch up on us and now it's like, oh man, Lord, what do I do now? No, everything we've always been doing this whole time, that's why it's called trial phase. Everything we've been doing, all right, that's kept us alive till now and enduring and serving the Lord. When the time comes, we're just going to keep doing the same thing. All right, keep your faith in the Lord, keep believing, and he's going to take care of the rest. You don't got to do anything extra than that. All right, just keep your faith in the Lord and he's going to take care of the rest. All right, but you got it, bro.
Yeah, and that's a very, very crucial and important point to always remember. Just keep your faith in Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai and let him take care of the rest. And as simple as it sounds, that's some of the hardest things for people to do. You tell somebody to just do one thing, and they find it somehow the most difficult thing for them to do.
Like in Saul, when all he had to do was go to Gilgal?
Oh, yeah. So,
Yeah. All he had to go do was wait for Samuel, but nah, he went to go and do the sacrifice, and Samuel came out after, like, oh, there you go.
Just wait. And that's going to get a lot of people messed up in these times too. Some people you just I think that's the same thing with was it Jonathan, the one who wanted to get a name for himself in the book of Maccabees, when Judas told him, just wait here, we're gonna go and take care of business and come back. He wanted to be Mr. Popular as well. Well, he was popular, but for the wrong reason. You know, ended up getting squatted on. You know,
They didn't have the faith in the Lord to give them food. So they built the golden calf.
yep. Yeah, I think it was Aaron who built that.
Yeah, but they wanted another God, you know. The whole purpose of having faith is like one of the hardest things to have because it's invisible, like I said. So you can't really be like, yeah, I can see I got my faith is gonna come through for me. You gotta hope that the Lord, sees your faith and responds to that and respond to your prayer. So when you're praying, you have the faith in the Most High to get you through whatever you're going. So that faith is like the main, a key element to the truth and worship.
That's it. That's it. Very good point. So let's go back to Psalm 64.
This is Psalm 64:4, and it reads that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not.
Yeah, suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not? Because in their minds, they think they have it all in the bag, right? They think that pretty much it's going to go in their favor. But we know that according to prophecy, that's not how it's gonna play out, right? It's going to be in the favor of the elect.
They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them?
Right? They commune of laying snares privily, right? So that is the meetings they have behind the scenes. Once again, like I said, you're not going to have these elites come up on Fox News and say, hey, I'm Jacob Rothschild. Who are you televising for? You know, and freaking Hebrew, Black Hebrew Israelites. They're not going to come out and do that. Okay, their power is in secrecy. So they need to now behind the scenes, and that's why there's such a long chain of command, right? From when it comes up from the major top elites, and it's not just one man, it's not just Jacob Rothschild. We just use that as an example, but it's different families, right? So different rich families from different parts that are running this shit. Okay. And so they give that's why they have council, so they all agree from their different heads or whatever. And then they're like, all right, let's go forth with this plan. And they enact it in different countries, right? In different ways, but it's all for the same goal. Okay. So by the time it gets to say like the House, right, or Trump's desk to sign it, by that time, it's been down so many chain of command. You know how many people that Trump has to go through? Like how many people there are before he even gets to your president? Yeah, you'd be surprised. People think that the president is like some high top guy who's like calling the shots. Do you know how? Like if you were to look at the pyramid, he'd be close to the bottom as well. All right, because he is just a face. When you look behind the scenes, these presidents and these rulers, they're a face, so the people can like attribute what's happening to them. But they get their orders just like everybody else. So that's why these devils, it's like hiring a hitman. They send it out in secret, and then they have the front and footmen enacted.
Like you're saying, it's just a face. For any of them, it's just a face for the people. Something for the people, for the elites to pretty much speak to. But like you mentioned, he's just on the low level. Like you mentioned, there's I think they call them like think tanks. So it's like there's levels, like you were saying, to it. At the top is the elite, but to it, it's like, hey, you might have those who are under the elites, right? And then it keeps going down and down. And then Donald Trump, or whoever may be the president, is at the lower level for the common people.
That's right.
Right. Everything has a hierarchy to it.
That's right. Got it.
Verse 6, they search our iniquities, they accomplish a diligent search.
So you might ask yourself, right? How is it that, like Shalimar just said, the think tanks, right? How is it that they're able to, when you go and you read the letter between Mazzini and Albert Pike, you know, it talks about the plan for 3 world wars. And that goes into World War I, World War II, and World War III. And when you look at their plans for triggering a war, and then what they expect to happen after that war is triggered, You wonder how do you, because these are on a nationalistic level. Like we're talking about something that they are setting off in one country, which is going to have an effect over numerous other countries. For example, the spread of communism. So you got to ask yourself, how is it that they were able to set this in motion? Now, of course, you have the Heavenly Father that basically gave them the credence to do it, but they used, people like they'll seek out because these elites themselves are not they're not the smartest people in the world, right? They're not the ones who are coming up with these elaborate plans. They just tell you what they want. Okay, just like a CEO, like freaking Google or even OpenAI. People look at Sam Altman and they're like, "Yo, this guy's a genius. He knows a little bit here and there to get the idea of obviously what his business is about, but he's not going to be able to explain to you how Chat GPT works. He's not going to be able to explain to you. And what I mean by that is like the intricate details, the actual code that is written there, the neural networks in detail. He's not going to be able to do that because that's why he hires people to do that. Okay, so that's what these elites do. They'll say like, "Hey, this is the plan that we have. This is what we want to accomplish by this time. Find us the best scientists. Find us the best neurologists. Find us the people who are best at subversion, right? The people who are best at manipulation. The people who are best at influence, media. And if you don't have some, create some. And that's why. And then so you have certain sectors whose job is to scout possible new recruits. Okay, so people who are basically like these young artists that come up, they'll scout them and they'll say, okay, this person looks like they got some traction. This person looks like they getting a following over there. Let's reach out to them. And of course, they're gonna want to buy into it because all the people that they grew up listening to, they want to be like them. So once they buy into it, then they realize I got you. Then they realize, oh, this isn't what I signed up for, but it's too late because you're just being used as an influencer to further the agenda. You're just one piece of their puzzle. Okay, so that's what they do. These elites themselves, they're not the ones who are, the master manipulators, but they hire those who are master manipulators to then get the job done for them.
Y'all can mention, I have to search up the name of the video, but Elder Yashwamba did a video on it, I believe this week. And essentially, it was like an hour-long video. And they mentioned essentially in that video that how your kids are being scouted since they go into school. Yep. It's not something like maybe in college, but all them SATs, all them tests, everything, that's them scouting your kids to see. Because I think the way they explained it, they said they can tell which kid, the future of the kid, who's going to be something, who's going to be have a bright future, who's not going to have a bright future. So that whole school education system, you think you're saying your kids have an education to get a good job? Oh, no. That's all for scouting your kids so that way they can, if they see that there's any use for your use in your kids for them, they can now draft your kids for to them. Oh, my bad. Did I say oh no. I usually say everything. They usually just use that to draft your kids pretty much. So it's the same thing like how you have like with NFL, right? You know how your players get drafted or scouted by the NFL or maybe even for college? It's the same thing as just doing it for the kids.
Yep. Right. And that's where the whole concept of colleges and so on and so forth, universities, when you go back during around the time of the shortly after the inception of the Illuminati, that's what they were using to recruit people. They'll look at who are the top scorers and so on, and then they'll recruit them into because at that point it was a secret society, right? Just like you had many other secret societies. And so they would recruit them in there. That was really the whole point when they created those systems. It wasn't for, I got to go to college and get a college degree. And then that shows that, why do you think it's called a degree, right? It shows that, I am a certified civilian who is now capable of X, Y, and Z. You're really not, because majority of people today walk around with college degrees and they act like dumbasses, right? They don't understand that. Common sense is that I'm saying like, you went to college for 4 years and you came out without common sense. Then there's something severely wrong going on in that building. Then, anyway, let's jump now to.
I got a little bit more on the point you made about the colleges.
You're frozen. Like we can hear you. We can hear you, but you're picking it in.
Hold on, let me see. Is it back?
Yeah, now it's fine.
Oh
But
boy.
yeah, now
All
just
right.
go ahead. I still don't pick up anyway.
Yeah, kind. So going back to universities and the colleges and stuff, that's why you have the word campus, right? Campus is a ground for battle, right? Soldiers go to camp, right? You're practicing your skills and so on and so forth. All right, that's why we use the word camp. We're going to war, right? So it's a spiritual war, but on in the worldly side of it, it's a place where you have a lot of what they call students, okay, who are ready for indoctrination to test off on each other to see who are the best and brightest that can be given scholarships, right? And scholarships then end up opening the doors for you to enter into fraternities and sororities and so on and so forth, which then branches you into the real world of the so-called hierarchy in this society. All right, so all these different people that may think that they have some type of high level, high class, and so on and so forth, they're all part of the system. All right, they're indoctrinated to be a cog in the wheel to keep the system going. But when the time comes, they all gonna be rounded up too, okay? Because that's why these elites keep coming out and telling you that AI is gonna take your jobs, because now they found a way to circumvent, all right, the working class, and then make you dependent on them. You see, and that's the step that we're in now. So there's something called the Rhodes Scholarship, right? The Rhodes Scholars, all right, and that was a big thing. It still is. Like, it's very prestigious in school and so on, scholarships and so on and so forth. And basically what that was like I said, it was like a branch of the Freemasonry thing, right? Where they'll always pick high level intellectual students, all right, and they'll do it. They used to do it, still do internationally, right? They have international students and so on and so forth, and then they all have this network. So that's why you see a country in Congo and a country in Switzerland and maybe a country in Latin America, and then the U.S., and they're all kind of like interlinked with some type of commonality. Oh, you went to this school. Oh, you have this scholarship. Oh, you have this. And they're all tied and intertwined. This CEO works with that CEO, and this CEO works with this CEO, and they used to go to the same school, and they grew up, all kinds of different shit like that. Why? Because they work together to oppress the people. Okay, and it's done deceptively. That's why when you go into the book of Genesis, because Bukhari, you mentioned something about Sam Altman and how he doesn't really know the intricate details when it comes to his own technology, right? But ultimately, they'll hire other people who have that ability to go into these things, right? There's a book of Genesis, chapter 3, verse 1. It says, "Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, the Most High, had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath the Most High said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden?" All right, so the point is that the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field. Okay, the beast represented what? The people, all right, the nations and so on and so forth, right? And the serpent is representing who? Esau, Edom. Okay, that cunning serpent that he is today. Okay, that's why you got so-called, what they call conspiracy theorists and shit, like what's this guy, David Icke and them. They be talking about, oh, these people are reptilian shapeshifters and all that. You know what I'm saying? All that crazy shit, like, oh, they shapeshift from reptiles. And what kind of reptilian are you talking about? Right? Their eyes be switching, all this weird shit that be going on, right? But it's them having that serpentine nature, okay? Which is, I will lay low for a while, and when the time comes, I'm gonna strike. And when I strike, I'm not just killing you with venom. No, I'm killing you and I'm devouring you. You see what I'm saying? And that's just how it is, right? So when you go into that word subtle, or I believe the brother Aishar brought this out earlier, it's synonymous with the word cunning, okay? And when you go into the word cunning, right, it goes into what? To know, to have some type of esoteric knowledge that you can use skillfully to deceive, okay? So when you actually go into the word to know, it literally means science, all right? And the science is what brings in the so-called technology, you see? So when you actually look at it from a grand scheme, right, they've been able to come up with such a technology, which is science, such an intricate, detailed, subtle thing that is presented to the world as a lifesaver. But as soon as you take a part of it, all right, like the scripture says, touching the accursed thing, as soon as you take part of it, what happens? Your whole life becomes destroyed. You end up in the lake of fire, man. Okay, so ultimately, this whole technological age is leading to that one thing, the hour of temptation, where the MOTB comes out. That's the last and final showdown. Okay, so all this stuff is leading to that. Again, Esau is going to highlight or the Lord is going to highlight Esau's subtlety amongst all these other nations when that MOTB is made mandatory, man. You're going to be like, damn, like how were they able to get to this point in such a short time? It's because the Lord is going to give them another gauge that they can kick into, another gear that they're going to shift into that's going to speed everything up, man. All right? And you're going to see. Okay? But you got it, bro. Just wanted to bring that out.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, and then maybe just like close the app and come back so that your video will be in sync.
Yeah, come
Oh yeah, 2nd Ezra 16. Let's jump into that.
So this is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16 and 1, and it reads, Woe be unto thee, Babylon and Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. Gird up yourselves with garments of sackcloth and hair, and bewail
And
your
garments of sackcloth and hair. Ezra is saying that as a sign of mourning. Prepare to mourn, because the calamities that he is seeing are going to affect them as well. Primarily Babylon. Okay. And when we say Babylon, yeah, I think you're good. Yep, you're good. When I say Babylon, you got it? When I say Babylon, I'm referring to the inhabitants of the land. Okay, because they have that arrogant and proud spirit about them that the Most High said that what he's going to bring down. Okay, right. Got it.
and bewail your lands and mourn.
Yeah, and this place is absolutely corrupt. You know, I was telling Haran like a couple of days ago, I was like watching some throwback music videos. Like when you listen to music, like even some of Akon's music from like years ago, like 15, 16 years ago. Water. And you look at how the people dressed, you're like, damn, like, you know, people actually dressed more normal, right? Like you would see men and women, like they have like jeans, they have like a shirt, you know, like, you know, the style was different back then. It was more casual and chill. Nowadays, you got dudes walking around with some tight ass pants, you know, you got women walking around with their asshole out, quite literally, okay? They walk around with that skirt that's mad short, and every 2 seconds, they're just pulling it down. And it's like a dance. You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you out here? You know what I mean? Like,
Yo, did you see the video this guy Little Baby yesterday? I don't know if y'all brothers seen it. Mad gay, bro. This nigga came on stage and he got like a short jeans short on, and the bottom of it is cut up, and then he got the top of his knees, he got tattoos on there. I'm like, this nigga look like a whole brand new bitch, bro. And then he got a pink belt. They got a pink belt and some like see-through, like a fishnet shirt. Mad gay, bro. And then he got a chains mad tight around his neck, and he's walking up and shit. And wait, yo, I'm looking at this guy. I'm like, man. So you click on the comments, all you seen everybody cooking this dude. He said, yo, this nigga mad gay. Yo, this gay as fuck. Yo, this nigga mad gay. I'm like, you see? It reminded me of that kid. That the video you sent me where he was talking to that TG, and TG said, yo, don't do that shit. And he's like, yo, you are mad gay, bro. Yeah, he was going crazy. But yo, this guy is popular, right? To modern day today compared to Akon and them, or 50 Cent back in the early 2000s. Dudes was wearing these big fucking jean shorts that be like to their ankles and shit. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you got these dudes over here wearing female clothing, like they competing with the women. And they call it fashion, bro. This shit is mad crazy. You know? He got knee tattoos above his, like, right on his thigh. Like, dude, what kind of shit is this? Brand new tattoos, bro. Walking around like a female coming on stage. Like, I'm like, yo, I need to find a video. I'm so y'all, brother. It's crazy, man. But you got it, bro.
oh God, a brand new bitch. That's mad crazy. Yeah, but hey, that's what they, and you know what? They foreshadowed that in yeah, they definitely did. If you haven't seen it, you should go and watch the Boondocks. There's an episode in there where just look up Boondocks Gangstalicious. And that dude, not Thugnificent, but Gangstalicious, that dude is just a moat, straight up and down. But they show you in that episode, that's why they call him Gangsta, and then they add delicious, right? Because outwardly he gives off the image as though he's like this top, you know, gangster guy, like this, you know, the rap guy. But you know, behind the scenes, he's a whole moat, right? He's a whole moat. And they showed you how he basically, you had Riley, right, one of the main characters in there, and you know he's like to represent like the Jake youth, which look up to these guys and they're like, yo, this guy's mad cool and shit. Yo, this guy comes out with new clothing line, and yeah, he had some clothing where it's like shorts, but it's a skirt. So you know you got the skirt closes over here, and then you like unflap it and you close it back. He came out with a purse. So Riley, which is basically following this trend, you know, their granddad is like, yo, he's talking to Riley's brother, like, yo, what's up with this guy, man? He looking a little weird every now and like every day is looking worse and worse. To the point where this dude came outside with a crop top, right, a skirt on, sandals, and a handbag, you know. And the granddad's like, yo, what the fuck is this? He's like, no, granddad, see, no, this is the latest shorts. See, like, you open the flap and they got a place for, like, you know, your phone and shit. And then he's trying to justify why this is gangster and this is cool. This dude, they put him on TV, that Gangstalicious guy, and he was basically discussing his new clothing line. Basically, dude had a clothing line where the it was a long T-shirt. You know how like they used to wear during like, you know, around said the 2000s, they had like the long T-shirts. Yeah, that shit. This basically this the shit. Let me see if I could this the clothing line that they had out influencing people to get. And because he was a rapper or whatnot, you know, people were like on it thinking like, yeah, nah, that makes you hard and shit. So basically he had one of them where it was a long T-shirt. You know, back in the day, they'll have the hat, they'll have the chain, they'll have the long white T-shirt, the big bowler jeans, and then the Timbs. This dude had his models coming out with a long white T-shirt, and the ass is cut out. So it's just like when it comes to the butt, it's cut out. So you just see the ass out, and they got a long ass T-shirt. Freaking mo-ass models come out, they'll stand, they'll turn, you know, then they'll walk away. They say, yo, so the reason I brought that up is because that is literally what they're doing now, right? They're having these so-called rappers that the youth listens to and thinks that they're all cool and shit, and they're basically turning them. They're turning that direction. So just like Aharon said, you come on stage looking like a brand new bitch out of the shop. You know what I'm saying? Like they just remodeled his ass. And you had other what's this guy? He made a song that was in Symphony. It was in an NBA 2K11 soundtrack. I forgot his name.
Kid Cudi.
Kid Cudi. Yeah. I think it was him.
Exactly what you're talking about. You on the stage like wearing pink and all
Yeah,
that.
dress. He came out. Yep. Okay. So it was him. He came on stage with a dress. And you got men out here painting their nails and shit. Yeah, with makeup. And you know what his justification was? You know, this is how you show you a real man. Like, you're not afraid to wear whatever it is you want to wear. We reading this shit like, what? This is real? This is real?
Quick precept.
Bring out the quick precept.
There's a book of Deuteronomy chapter 22 verse 5. It says, the woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment, for all that do so are abomination unto the Lord Yahweh thy power. So where does it say a man wearing a woman's clothing is the realest shit a man could do? It doesn't say that in here. That's not what we're reading here. All right, it says those who do shit like that are an abomination unto the Heavenly Father. All right, does not the Apostle Paul say all those who are abominable to the Lord, they're gonna partake in the lake of fire? Right, you're not gonna make it into the kingdom if you're an abomination. What the fuck? All right, an abomination is a profane thing. That means it's outside the temple. You think the Lord's gonna be dealing with some shit like that? That's why the spirit of Babylon really is Revelation 17 isn't there for nothing. All right, the mother of harlots, that spirit, it stems from here, man. All right, they make it okay to be not okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's okay to be out of your fucking mind, bro. You know, this place it's like a harbinger of demons. You know what I'm saying? You got Doja Cat, this bitch come out on the scene looking all nice and cute and shit. Next thing you know, she turned to a whole demon. You know, she doing videos where she bald and shit. She like a black demon in the corner of a door in a house somewhere. I'm like, how the fuck did she even get to the top of it? Like, who the fuck? You know what I'm saying? What kind of yo, you know? But this is the land of the valley of the shadow of death, for real, man. All right, but you got it, bro.
1 Corinthians 6:9. Know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of God? Be not deceived, neither fornicators, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor effeminate, nor abusers of themselves with mankind, Yeah, that you abusive moles out there. All right, you abusive Saudis out there, man. You gonna get a destruction, man. No, fire for bond the wicked, man. That's it. Like Benjamin said. You know, they had that one video in Jamaica. There was one of the main conservative political parties. I don't know the name. I don't keep up with Jamaican politics, but I saw this video and they were singing that song about I forget how it goes, but Run the Chichi Man. You know, so
Yeah,
I don't-
some young stuff.
yeah, and
They were wearing all green, right?
everybody was cheering. Yeah, everybody in the crowd was cheering. So that vibration is coming back to the earth, man. There's gonna come. There may come a time soon where you moles, you're gonna have to run and hide because people gonna be when all hell breaks loose. Them conservative right wingers in here and the MAGA people in America, they're gonna be coming for y'all, man. You know, but that's oh yeah,
Recently, you look like a witch. You got black bone wig on, all black dress, black lipstick,
Oh my God.
and Will and Jada standing next to him, cheering with laughter. Like they look like they the most happiest parents they can be, but he's standing in the middle of them, looking like MK Ultra case, man. Like he just got electroshock treatment.
He will. Lord brings that judgment. It's gonna be electroshock with fire.
the word there for effeminate is malakos, which mal in Spanish is bad. So
That's in the New Testament, right?
yeah.
I think Haran, you know it, right? The word,
Malakas, which is like a faggot, or like somebody calls you that in Greek. That's a insult. That's you throwing hands with that.
Yeah, Adamite, a boy prostitute, a boy pro.
They had that in GTA 4. You know,
What?
no, not the. They didn't have the boys. They the term, like if you hit somebody, they're like, you stupid malaka. You know, yeah, they had that.
It says soft to the touch
Yo,
in a bad sense
definitely in the back.
of a boy kept for mo relations with a man, of a male who submits his body to unnatural lewdness, of a male prostitute. So, and there's another video of Kid Cudi dressed in a wedding dress, holding hands with an Edomite at a red carpet for some event. He just looked dark and defeated, bro. Dark and defeated. You can't tell me you happy with the life you're living, nasty motherfucker. You know. But this is what Hollywood. You made it. Now you can be a Mo and be proud and be all over the place on Front Street. What's the end of it? You're gonna melt in the lake of fire.
Hell yeah. Gonna be real bad. Anyway, let's get back to that second Ezra 16. That's going to go into the judgment of the Lord. This is why the Lord said it'll be a time like never before, because He's not holding back the judgment. He's not punishing you in measure this time. His goal this time, because he has already reserved his number, his elect. The rest of you, his goal is to actually destroy you. So now it's like fighters before they actually fight, they'll do the whole like standoff. One of them might actually punch one of them, and they might get so pissed, they might talk so much shit that they just can't wait till, because now they got to hold back, right? Because the fight hasn't started yet. But they can't wait till that day where they get in the ring. I remember there was a video of this one fighter. Yo, he was so enraged. Like the second the bell rang, you know they just be out there in the corner waiting. This guy was like, the ref had to like hold him back till the bell rang. And the second the bell rang, he basically sprinted at the dude and just started going in on him. You know? And that's basically how the Lord is going to get on these guys, because in Jacob's trouble, that's like the bell ringing. Because he's like, all right, I've been long suffering for this very moment. Now everybody, it's like now I can grade the tests. Right? Everybody pencils down, and now it's time for judgment. So the rest of you, man, it's Mike Tyson in his prime time. Yep.
Yeah, that's in Revelation 7. Real quick, there's a book of Revelation, chapter 7, and verse 1. It says, "And after these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth." All right, that's representing what? The destruction that's going to come by way of the fire. And remember, the scripture says that is a devouring fire, and the Most High Spirit is going to be in that fire. Okay, so you know it's going to be that heat, scorching, excoriating. That's why in the book of I believe the 2 Peter, where it says it's going the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Ain't no fire that gonna melt everything like that. There's fires all the time. You still have the structure still standing there after a while, right? Because they get to put the fire out. This is devastating fire that consumes those kinds of fires, and ain't gonna be nobody who could take that fire out. So you can imagine what's gonna be happening here in America. That's why it's gonna look like a lake of fire, man. All the elements that's mixed in there, the petroleum, the gas stations, the buildings, the helium, the whatever gases that's all over the place, all gonna be engulfed in this flame. The people, the wood, the stone, the gravel, the metals, everything, cars, houses, right? Everything that's flammable, even these devices that we use that's highly flammable, these Tesla cars, all these things gonna help with the flame, man. All right, these Tesla cars, you can't even put these shits out. You know what I'm saying? Them shits burn. You can't put them out. So, hey, man, it's going to be a beautiful thing, right? But guess this. It says what? It says, corners of the earth holding the four winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. That's the Lord's anger being held back. Like Bakar, you said that the refs are holding the guy back. Like, yo, hold on, man. Once they move out the way and the bell rings, bing, 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 it's over with. It says, and I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living power, and he cried with a loud voice to the four angels to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea. Okay? Shit. It's a saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees. That means that, everything is about to get demolished. Till we have sealed the servants of our power in their foreheads. That's the key. Okay, so really, in reality, the only thing that's holding the Lord back from destroying this place is because of the elect. Once the elect is sealed, do you see how important the elect are? These people out here be wilding out, bugging out and shit. The elect is because of the elect why Yahushua is coming back, and it's because of the elect why the Lord hasn't even set that judgment out yet. Okay, so once the elect are sealed, all right, Yahushua, the Lord's going to let the angels loose, and then Yahushua comes back and he delivers the elect out of the destruction that comes after the angels have been loose, man. Okay. But you got it, bro. Just wanted to put that in there. You got it.
Oh, now I mentioned this is the last time that the Lord gets to punish Israel. So when he gets to punish them, he's going to make sure that they feel it. Like, because after this, that's it. So he's going to make sure that he's going to do everything and whatever he's going to do to make sure that you feel like, hey, don't ever cross me again. If you cross me, he's going to leave an ass for me that's going to make you remember, like, yo, don't ever fuck with him again. Don't ever cross him. Don't ever just listen. That stubbornness is going to go away.
Pull that switch out on y'all. Pull the metal side of the belt.
You're damn right. Yeah, because like we said, man, this time the Lord is not, he's punishing you onto destruction, right? Right. This time the Lord is punishing you onto destruction, all right? And that's why the judgments that are written, he reserved it for this time, okay? Because now it's been confirmed. Like everybody, once this word goes out, everybody's lot is sealed. And if you are not of the elect, written from the foundation of the earth to be delivered, you're gonna face judgment and destruction. The real life version, not the version you read about and the version you imagine, but the version that you experience in real life. Go ahead.
2 Ezra 16:3. A sword is sent upon you, and who may turn it back?
Mm-hmm.
A fire is sent among you, who may quench and extinguish it.
Yeah, when the Most High sends that sword and that fire in the form of destruction and calamity upon the earth, a lot of people are going to be begging. A lot of people they're gonna be begging because they're gonna see that when they see the Lord, who the Lord is dealing with, and they're gonna be trying to gravitate towards you, trying to get some help. But not everybody's going to be accepted. Not everybody's going to be taken, because if you are, whether you're wicked or you're righteous, everybody's going to want to seek deliverance. The difference is, if you're wicked and the Lord has destined you for destruction, we can't do anything for you, and we're not going to want to do anything for you. Okay? But at that time, you're going to have people crying, begging, weeping. Please, 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 no, please, let me do, I'll do anything, I'll do it. But at that point, there's nothing you can actually do that's going to change it, right? And that's what people don't understand now. In that time, if you wait till that time, there's nothing you can do to actually change the situation. So when you come up with the "I'll do anything," nothing you can do is gonna change your situation. And you're gonna have certain people run into situations where they'll get beguiled, right? Dude will tell them, yeah, yeah, of course. All right, you come over here, you do this for me, do that for me, and then I got you. You know, I'll make sure you're good. And then when it comes time, they just dip and leave them. Go ahead. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, quick precept. Yeah, so there's nothing that nobody's gonna be able to escape the Lord's judgment, man. And the whole world is gonna see, that he's gonna be meaning business. It's gonna be a great day like none other before. Like you said, our people gonna see that this is the worst punishment. I mean, the worst finality of our punishment. And the other nations are going to see that the Lord means business. This is in Isaiah 66 and 16. For by Isaiah 66 and 16 reads, "For by fire and by his sword with the Lord will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many." Right? So, sword, of course, we know that's the fundamental mysteries, and also fire is mysteries as well, but also the chariots, they're gonna be vaporizing people as well, man. But that judgment is gonna be for all to see. The elect is gonna be spared out of it, but we will also see it as well. But on the upper side of things, we're not gonna be afflicted by it. But the whole world gonna see that, man. That judgment is for everybody to see, and it's coming, right? And it's coming at a fast pace. Y'all see all these disasters happening, taking place, right? These floods, these earthquakes, right? These wildfires, all that stuff is a part of the snowball effect of the Lord coming back. That's just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, I was going to mention it said in the precept that the brother just read, but by fire shall the Lord plead with all flesh. See, people don't understand when they say only God can judge you. You don't understand what you're putting upon yourself when you say that, because the Heavenly Father don't talk. He judges when he's ready to. He's not going to, now, the way that Heavenly Father does talk, talks to his men. And if you don't have spiritual ears to take heed to that and to listen, then when you say, "Oh, only God can judge," well, you're right. I am going to judge. Well, it's not me, but
From the perspective.
he's going to judge you. That's what he's going to do.
It's like when you simple-minded fools say that shit. There's an angel watching, like, oh, bet. Hey, Lord, you're not gonna believe what they say now.
Put them on the list.
And boom, here they go. The angels deliver the message. So everything you say, that's why the Lord said every idle word. Like if I could pull that real quick.
It's just also mentioned, because you gotta understand, the Heavenly Father is a man of men. So, like, when you say things like that, it's almost like it's challenging them. It's like an antagonist. It's like, oh, really? Okay, let me see you in a couple of days. I got some plan. Don't worry, I got all to see. The Heavenly Father has time. You don't have to see. I said that me and my friends used to threaten people in high school. Be like, yo, don't worry, I'm gonna get you back. Like, when? Now, I'm not gonna go back to tomorrow. I ain't gonna go back to you next week. Nah, I'm gonna get you back. But don't worry, it could be a week from now, a month from now. We're gonna get you back. Don't worry about that. So it's the same thing with the Heavenly Father. I ain't gotta get you today. I ain't gotta get you next week. I ain't even gotta get you next year. When I get you, it's gonna hurt you.
And that in itself is tormenting, because now you're always thinking about it in your mind. Like, you always got to look over your shoulder. You don't know when it's gonna come.
That's how people look at it.
Every time they see you.
Wickedness is very timorous.
Yep.
Constantly over the shoulder. But you don't see us doing that. We fear the Lord, of course, but we're not in the same sense of these people. They're just afraid of everything, any and everything. Our fear is towards the Lord. So we don't have to be afraid of, oh shit, looking over our shoulder. We are circumspect, but we don't walk around. That's why the scriptures talks about the Lord did not give us a spirit of fear.
Hey, I'll say this real quick. And I got you. It makes sense why the scriptures say fear the Lord, right? Fear the Most High, because And then that's why I said it's the beginning of wisdom, because when you understand, you truly understand, you realize that the only one to fear is the Most High. If a wild tiger breaks loose and it starts running down the street right now, your fear is, if I'm good with the Lord, I'm good. I'm not worried about this thing. You know what I'm saying? Through the Spirit of the Lord, I'll be able to just tell him to calm your ass down. But if I just did some wild wickedness last night, my heart is beating as faster than, you know what I'm saying? Freaking the craziest rock band, because I know that the Lord can be very easily say, yeah, nah, you losing at least a finger or two. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, buddy. So the fear is that the Lord might be upset with me and he might have this thing actually harm me. Not the thing itself. The thing itself don't do shit. You know, it's the Most High that determines what it's going to do or not. That's why you fear the Lord.
Fear ye not me. The Lord said, fear ye not me.
It's crazy.
Matthew 12:36. But I say unto you that every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give account thereof in the day of judgment. For by thy words thou shalt be justified, and by thy words thou shalt be condemned. So everything you say, you're going to have to be, everybody, including us, is going to have to be held accountable. That's why it's important that we all speak the same thing, that we lock in with the doctrine, because as much as it has been given to us and bestowed upon us, now it's a heavy responsibility for us to teach the right way, teach the right thing. That's why you see us, oh, what's the big deal? The MOTB, like, it could be this, it could, the Lord. I heard a dude say once that, oh, Yahweh Shai gonna work all that doctrine stuff out later on. You mean to tell me he didn't work it out now by giving us the Holy Spirit? Yeah, he's gonna work it out. He's gonna work it out all right. He gonna put a foot in your ass sideways, man. That's how he's gonna work it out. So again, people don't understand the gravity of the things they say. The power of the tongue. You speak something and then boom, the judgment comes back upon your head. And that goes to a lot of things, man, the way you live. The Lord has a real interesting and funny way of judging you, man. The same way a dude glorified in his money and his cars, then he's broken homeless on the street one day. The same way you glorified in doing this and that to other. That's why it says what happened to Antiochus Epiphanes. The Lord judged him in that way because he had tormented other men's bowels in certain ways, in sadistic ways. So what do you think he's gonna do to kill Bates?
That dude.
What do you think he's gonna do to these other guys, man? These Bergs and these other guys, man. I'm not gonna name names, but you know what I'm talking about. These tech guys, these demons, man. These
Zuckerberg.
elites. Yeah, Fuckerberg. Fuckerberger, Y'all gonna get what's coming to you, man.
That's right.
Hey, that's why King David said in Psalm 19 that let the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Right? Because everything that you say, like Ashiar said, and as the scriptures say, that every idle word that men shall give, right, they shall give an account thereof in that day of judgment. Right? So every idle word that you utter, just a few days ago, you had this other guy, a brother, right, who was cursing out the elder. Okay, and brothers did responses on that, going into how out of order that is, right? And you also always got to remember that it's not just your personal life and how you deal with people in the world, but also people in the truth, brothers in the truth. Remember, we're serving Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. So when you just speak out of emotion, you could really offend somebody who's highly favored in the eyes of the Lord, and that could be a problem for you. You know what I'm saying? You might still be a man of the Lord, but the Most High might just jack you up, mess you up, stress your life out a little bit here and there, just so you know that, damn, man, I went overboard with that. I shouldn't have even said that. That came out of left field. So always remember that. King David said it. We always got to keep that in our forefront, the forefront of our heads when we're speaking, okay? Because you got people who actually listen to what we're saying. And their lives, decisions that they make, it depends on what we say. You know what I'm saying? So if you're out there, you're not giving the right doctrine, look at all these people, these lost souls that follow Sakari and them. Look what's going on with all that shit now, right? But they were hanging on every single word that this clown was giving them, And remember, it's all spiritual because Sakari is the same daggerman back during the time of Yahushua. Okay? I believe they were part of the people who pushed for the difficulties that Jacob was going through during the time of the siege. Okay? You know what I'm saying? So it's like they're all coming back in their lots doing the same exact thing. And the verbiage that they use, the words that they use, look, is all coming and falling upon his head. You know, all these years cursing out the apostles, you know what I'm saying? Like all these different things that he's been doing. Now look at his end. Okay, and that should be a cautionary tale to all of us that look what the Lord could do to you. You know, when you talk out of terms, especially against his elect, all right, who stands so stiffly for his name. You know, look at all the people of old. When you read the New Testament of what they were, what kind of judgment they received when they came against the apostles and disciples. So you don't think the same thing is going to be happening now, right? Remember, the apostle Paul reserved, Hymenaeus and Alexander, that he reserved them unto Satan, right? All those people are what is known as anathema maranatha. They were designated and set aside for destruction and judgment. Okay, so hey, just like Shalimar, you were saying, the Lord is going to get you some way, somehow. For all we know, this guy, Al-Azhar, has been doing some wicked ass shit in his past incarnations. The Lord's like, I'm going to wait till the last day to get your ass, right? I'm going to let you come into the truth thinking you on some high level. You're going to do your own thing for years. You're going to get proud. You're going to be on a whole nother level. And then I'm going to bring you down. And I'm going to mock you while I bring you down, man. And now look, he talking about he no longer a part of the Hebrew Israelites. There you go. The Lord has completely taken his spirit away from him. Completely. And now we're going to see his sad end and his destruction, because he still never repented for disrespecting the apostles like that. And the Lord might never let that go. Okay? The Lord might never let that go. And I'm just a mortal man. And to me, I find it hard to let go of that, because I'm just not used to that. You know what I'm saying? So the Lord might be like, you know what, man? This guy, I'm just going to take his ass out. So just watch his destruction. Okay? But you got it, bro.
Got it, bro.
Yeah, just to back up what Aharon was saying about, you mentioned the King David. I don't know if you mentioned the scenario with David, but with David and King Saul, when he had that moment where King Saul was in the cave, because I believe it says he released his feet or something like that. Yeah, pretty much he dropped in the deuce in the cave, and David and his men were in there. As David's men was putting the battery on David's back, like, yo, he's right there, take him out. What? David got close. He just cut off the skirt of his garment and let him go. And then after, David came out, revealed himself unto Saul, and what? David said he was afraid to touch the Lord's anointed, because what? That's the king of Israel. Even though, yeah, Saul was trying to murder him, although, David's like, yo, like, chasing after me, I believe he said, like, after a flea. Right. Like, who am I? But David was still afraid that, although, yeah, David could have been justified, like, yo, you trying to kill me? David, like you said, David said he was afraid to touch the Lord's anointed. That's the king of Israel. So it's the same thing with these men that, hey, at one point they were your elders, right? Elder Apostle Tahar, Elder Apostle Bar, and the men, whatever camp that he was a part of, they were your teachers. You were underneath them. You weren't afraid or had any type of respect, right? To like, yo, let me not talk to him that type of way, even though I feel aware of how the situation may have been handled. Let me not say these type of things. Number one, out of respect for them, and number two, even out of respect for myself. There's a reason why it's called self-respect. First of all, respect first starts with who? Yourself. So it's like, yo, I don't want to be seen in that type of light. I want to have some respect for myself. So you know what? I'm not going to say these certain things, or I'm not going to do these certain things, so that way I'm not seen a certain light amongst other people. It's not really you so much caring so much about the opinions of others, but it's about you holding yourself in a certain regard, having some decorum about yourself. And he didn't have that type of decorum or any type of, thing. I think the scriptures talk about having a bridle over your mouth.
Right. Let's go back to 2 Ezra 16, verse 6.
2 Ezra chapter 16 and verse 6. May any man drive away an hungry lion. May any man drive away an hungry lion in the wood.
Right. So right now, that's not happening, right? That's why when people go to those regions, they take guns and so on and so forth, because you can't drive away a hungry lion with your bare hands. A lion that's calm is dangerous enough. A lion that's hungry is ferocious. And at that point, you know how big a lion's paw is? By just putting its paw upon you and stinking it. I got a cat with this small ass fingers. And that when it playfully, if it scratches you, that shit is deep. It cuts deep and sharp quick. So imagine a big lion that when you're seeing those lions and they're hunting, and then they do that little paw tap, You know, that's where you get the hook from. We get a little paw tap, and it looks like, oh, they just did a little swipe on the animal. Why is the animal on the floor? If they did that shit to you, you'd have deep marks sunk right into your body, into your flesh. All right. I don't know. I believe the brother saw one time from the chat with the guy who's antagonizing the lion, and it hooked into his hand. And honestly, if the I don't know if the Lord didn't like, all right, I'm out of mercy. I think that hook would have
Rip through. Yep.
yeah, and you could see it like if you pause it, right? Maybe you could find on YouTube or like TikTok or something like Instagram. But a man antagonizes the lion in the cage, and he's messing when he puts his hand there, and the lion just and you can see like that quick second, you can kind of see like his hand like stays stuck for a second. If you like maybe could slow the video down, you can see it like, yo, if the Lord didn't like have mercy, maybe the hand would just got clean through. Yeah, because those you would think that because it's like the I think now we need the you would think that because it's like the nail. I don't know if you got the wire. You got it for Android? Hopefully. No, it's a different one. Let me see. I might have. For your phone, right? Yeah. We use actually our phone. But yeah, if it goes off, we'll just join back. But while we still have the thing on here, yeah, those just because they look like nails that are like coming out, you know, your nails as a human being are not that strong. If you had long nails and you tried to like climb a tree with your nails, that shit is gonna peel back. It's not the same with these that's why they're called claws, right? With like the big cats, they have claws. If you've ever seen a cat climb a tree, it's using its claws. It's sinking its claws in and it's climbing that tree. That means that it's holding up its whole body weight using these claws as it's climbing. So when a lion, which is even much bigger, sinks its claws into your body and it's peeling back. Ah, yes, perfect. The water. And it's peeling back. That's basically your ass. Nice. That's good. Right on cue. You ain't coming back after that. So, like where we were in 2nd Ezra 16, can a man turn away a hungry lion? No, it's rhetorical because the answer is basically no. Got it.
Or may anyone quench the fire in the stubble?
You can't do that either, right? Once again, rhetorical. Go ahead. Sorry. You good.
Or may anyone quench the fire in stubble when it had begun to burn? May one turn again the arrow that is shot of a strong archer?
It's like in today's term, if somebody shot a bullet at you, are you going to be able to? There was that movie where I don't know if it's like a spy movie where they were able to like. Is it that?
Wanted, yeah.
We would turn the bullet. Yeah, okay. This ain't that definitely is bullshit. Yeah, this ain't that where they're able to shoot a bullet and just like flip the gun so the bullet now does a whole turn and hits you. No. That's not how it works, right? So just like the scripture is saying, and this is likening. Ezra is basically setting the ground for the judgment of the Lord, right? To say like, just like you can't turn away a hungry lion, just like you can't stop the fire in the stubble, and you can't turn back an arrow that's been shot from a bow. You're not going to be able to turn back the plagues of the Lord. Go ahead.
Verse 8. The mighty Lord sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away?
Yeah, you notice the scriptures never talk about stopping the plagues of the Lord, right? Like, we're not here to stop the plagues of the Lord. We're not here to tell the Lord, please don't do this. No, we're here to ask the Lord to please have mercy on us when he does this. Nobody is here to stop the will of the Lord at all. Yahushua, the closest person to the Most High, which is Yahushua, said, I'm here to do my Father's will. Okay? At best, he prays for us that we may be delivered from it. So just keep that in mind. So as it's saying here, the Most High, the mighty Lord, is the one sending these plagues. Nobody can turn them away or stop them. Nobody's going to do that. You jump in the way of the judgment, that's suicide. Go ahead.
Verse 9. A fire shall go forth from his wrath. And who is he that may quench it?
That's it. I gotta watch it. I gotta watch that. But yeah, who is he that may quench it? Go ahead.
He shall cast lightnings,
And who shall not fear?
Yeah, because ultimately the Most High is the only one that can stop his own judgment, and he ain't gonna do it. He ain't gonna do it. You know why? Because he said he's not a man that should lie, nor the son of man that should repent. So he has already set these judgments basically in stone. He's not gonna go and undo them. Go ahead.
And who shall not, I'm sorry, he shall cast, I'm sorry, he shall thunder, and who shall not be afraid?
Mhm.
The Lord shall threaten, and who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence?
Right. So when the Most High threatens, right, as he brings these judgments upon the earth, who's not going to be utterly being to powder at his presence? So who's going to survive that? And in the literal sense, when Yahushua comes back with those chariots and he starts letting off them destructive beams, everybody's going to get serious at that point. The luxury and all that, it's good. Look, here, this is the hierarchy of survivability. When shit goes down, the first thing people are thinking about is surviving. Okay, survival comes first. That's where your natural primitive instincts go to. Survival first. So that's health, right? Protection, you know, food. Those are the first few things before you have like the luxury. And the luxury comes once you already have the main essentials. Okay? So in this time when where people already have these things that they need, that's why they're so indulged in vanity. Because it's like, I don't need to worry about food. You know, I don't got to worry about shelter. I don't got to worry about this. I just got to worry about, I'm bored. You know, being bored is their main concern now. You know, yo, what's the word? We outside, like what we doing today? You have some people that act like they go through withdrawal symptoms if they just got to stay home one day. It's a Saturday and you just got to stay home and just chill out. They can't. They're like, they're itching. They have to go out and do something. You know, they got to go to the club or they got to do something. And you look at them like, yo, you, if that's your biggest concern, you ain't making it out this place. All right. You pretty much going to be cooked with this place.
We said,
Yep.
Isaiah 55:8. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, saith the Lord. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. For as the rain cometh down, and the snow from heaven, and returneth not thither, but watereth the earth, and maketh it bring forth and bud, that it may give seed to the sower and bread to the eater. You know, just to sum up those verses, the Lord is saying that the way he does things is way beyond a regular man's mind. A regular man's mind, you know, you're not going to be able to judge in the same way that the Heavenly Father judges, because he's no respecter of person. You see? So he's putting it in our mind to be judges, but even then, the Lord, his ways are far beyond. Okay, he gave us an insight into his ways. He gave us an insight into how he does things.
Right.
But it says, as the rain cometh down and the snow from heaven. Yeah, once the that storm is coming, that rain is gonna hit the ground.
Mhm.
There's no power on earth that can stop it. When a thunder strike start, nobody can stop that. Who can stop the lightning? Esau don't have no robot and AI. Yo, stop. Can't do it. The same way with an avalanche, the same way with a volcano. When it's ready to burst, there's no force on earth in the universe that can stop Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai from bringing forth what he wants to do. And it says, so shall my 11th verse, so shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, void meaning empty, right? But it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. So the word for the benefit, because when you go into this chapter, it's really talking about the joy, but you know, the word also encompasses judgment. You know, so the word that went out, it accomplished what it was meant to do in gathering the elect, and it's also accomplishing what it meant to do in casting out judgment on the non-elect and casting out judgment on the heathen nations.
Right. That's beautiful. So where we at?
Oh, the bar had a point.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, the word is also used as a warning. Right, when the Lord's judgment is coming, the closer and closer we get down to the pipeline, you see that his word is not coming back void. No, we as the messengers, when we come out here, we prophesy, and to prophesy to give a warning. of the things to come. We got that heads up on the things to come, and the Lord explained that to us that those things are going to have indications. Those warnings is going to have indications. And he speaks about the warning in Matthew 24. And it reads in Matthew chapter 24, verse 3, and he sat upon the Mount of Olives. The Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming? The end of the world. So they asked her the sign, and he broke it down to them. But the end of the world is the day of judgment, right? So these things is coming down, and we see them all. And some of the signs are, you saw recently in Yellowstone Park how the animals are leaving the wilderness. They just fleeing in herds, right? That's one of the signs, right? And the other signs, love is wax cold, man. Everybody is out here doing things that's on their own free, or forgetting about the love of the Most High and focusing on themselves. These signs are coming, man. They showing themselves on a rapid level.
Yeah, the scriptures say, men shall be lovers of themselves and not of the Most High. So how do you expect the Most High to deliver you? Well, then you know what? They don't. They don't expect the Most High to deliver them. They're not even seeking the Lord to deliver them. So I mean that answers that question. And majority of them, they don't care enough to listen. If they actually listen, and the Lord had opened up their minds, they would understand that your only way out of this is by the Most High, the same one you're not listening to right now. Because right now the world is literally corrupt. Right? That's why there's such a vast difference between the true believers and the rest of the world in terms of mindset. Because this world is it's already destined and doomed for destruction. Damn near every woman out here that you see got a BBL now. Knowing very well what it does. Like the Most High gave you a body, and then you put artificial means and injections and all these things to alter your body. But because you don't want to put in the effort and go to the gym and go, because how many you got videos out there where you got chicks that were skinny as shit, like an actual stick, and then through hard work they were able to build and gain and turn their body how they wanted it to be. But you got others that they want to go the BBL route. Now it's like chicks stand out for looking natural because everybody got a BBL, and it's crazy. It's like, yo, that's disgusting, man. Yeah, that's very disgusting. It doesn't matter how good you look, man. That hygiene overrides that. All right, hygiene overrides that. You walk around there, what's that? Sit down win, man. That was basically the disgusting smell that came when those with a BBL sit down, because they sit down and it's like, and it brings out that when their BBL is leaking, there's a because it's like rotten flesh. So it's that smell that comes when they sit down, and that pressure pushes out that little air out their holes in their body, and it starts destroying the whole area. She's talking about she needed a freaking what's that air spray and cologne and shit everywhere. So now you got to watch out. And these chicks walk past you and they smell like a shower of cologne. And then you look at her backside and it's like unproportional. You know that something's going. Not only does she have a BBL, but that shit is probably leaking and it doesn't smell right. Now, I was telling Haran, you had that chick that came out with the testimony about the sit down win. She said that it was so bad her man left her, right? And you got to think about it. Today, with how over sexualized society is, dudes would smash anything that has hair and moves. So for a dude to basically, in a sex-driven world, to be like, I cannot take this no more and leave her, it must be real bad. Okay, because what we consider bad, people are like, nah, that's all right, bro. I still tell that shit on point. I still knock that down. But for somebody in the world to be like, nah, I can't do this no, like I'm breaking up with you, that shit must have been real terrible. And she's just one that came out and spoke about it. Okay, he's not the only one going through it. He's just the one that came out and spoke about it. Okay, so yeah, just keep that in mind. So like I was telling Haran, now it's like you stand out if you're natural, because now there's fewer and fewer women that actually look natural. And then it's like some of them, they'll get a BBL, then they'll go to the gym to try and whatever, whether it's to tone it or whatever the case is. Why didn't you just go to the gym in the first place? But that's what you see. You got chicks with BBLs everywhere, which is unnatural. You got them walking around like the fashion today is basically dressing like a whore, revealing all like today you had a chick walking around with literally a skirt, and I'm not lying, the skirt was half her ass. So the lower part of her ass is just her ass cheeks are just out, just bare ass out. You know, just walking around. Why? You know, so this what you saying? What?
I was gonna say that what you just said right there. A similar thing happened the other day. I was in the grocery store, and I'm with the dog and everything. So we stand in line waiting, and all you see is some dude walk in with his chick, and I'm like, oh, why are you comfortable enough to let your chick walk around like that, bro? That looks crazy. You know, and then the niggas in the line, everybody kind of breaking their neck, looking around. I'm like, look at this shit. You just created a whole scene over here. Your woman is like a piece of meat. And I'm like, in the time of trouble, some shit like that, what's gonna happen is they're gonna break his arm and take her off of the left arm that was working, and then break that one too. And then now they go break her back in the back because she's letting it out. You know, that's that reproach, because now every man, you know, niggas gonna be chasing after that. You know what I'm saying? Oh, they got a BBL, let's go after that. And then next thing you know, zombies is coming to shred. You got it, bro.
Yeah, the shredders are out. Hey man, where we at?
Second Ezra chapter 16, verse 12. The earth quaketh, and the foundations thereof, the sea ariseth up with waves from the deep.
Oh yeah, so that's what I was gonna say. This is why these judgments are gonna be so terrible, because today reality has been so warped that people don't know what hard times are like. Like, ask an average individual, what's the hardest thing you've gone through the past, you know, your life, right? Unless it's some with the exception like some traumatizing thing they went through as a kid. Probably if they weren't even in the country, or maybe if they were, most people in this life, they'll say like, oh, their car broke down on the highway, or like, you know what I'm saying, something along those lines. You know, I got fired from my job and I had to work 2 jobs and I had to do all this. Sometimes the things that you consider to be a problem or a real tough situation, some people wish they had those problems. Okay? Because you got some people whose actual life is, you know, in places like Sierra Leone, you have children that are becoming not becoming, this has been going on for a while, but they're child soldiers, right? So they basically, the society is so terrible, so bad, that children are put as, you know, they're given guns and they've trained them to become child soldiers, and they just roam about, going to different territory, killing people. And sometimes it's so bad that it has become a staple to eat humans. You know, cannibalism has become like a normal thing, to where human meat is staple. You know, oh shit, that one got some meat on him. I call the legs, I call the arms, because they're so they've gone so long without food that's now become the norm thing for them to do. And sometimes it got so bad that they don't want to stop. Now I was like, yo, I'm good. I don't want that chicken no more. I sort of got used to this joint over here. You know, it's crazy, but that's reality. And people here, they can't even imagine something like that. At best, they'd be in a movie scene, and then they'll close their eyes. Oh, ew, that's disgusting. So in real life, when these judgments that we're reading of come to pass and they start taking place on the earth, people are not prepared. They can't run. They don't do any form of cardio. They don't eat well. So even if they try, their body cannot sustain all that. Look, you know, when you're bigger, it takes more energy to do things. Okay, each step, all the ripples in your back when it jiggles, you got like the fold on top of fold, like bam, bam. But each step that they take, your body has to channel more energy for you to lift up your leg to move that step. That's why sometimes, like, you know, you'll notice like people that are more on the heavier side, they get tired quicker when they do just regular things, because your body is exerting more energy. What that means now is you got to eat more, and you got to eat more often, because your body's like, yo, I need to replenish the energy I just used to get you up these stairs or to get you down the street. So when all hell breaks loose and you got to run multiple times, usually the human body releases adrenaline, right? When you have these dire situations, we are much stronger, obviously, than we even know. You know, the strength that you use when you're like bench pressing or you're lifting weights, that's not your full strength. That's just the strength that you're able to unleash from thought. but your body has reserves of strength that is untapped. And those are released, strength, speed, all of those things. Those are released when you are in that like heightened fight or flight scenario. That's why some people, you know, like hell breaks loose and they're like fast as shit. You're like, yo, this is a 70-year-old man just booked it past me. How did that happen? There was a story about a dude who went rock climbing, and I think there was a part where like one of a part of the rock, like a heavy, I think they said it weighed like either a ton or close to a ton, but it was like a super heavy rock, and it basically fell on him. So as it fell on him, he ended up, you know, using his hands to basically push it over him. And they said normally a human wouldn't be able to lift that much weight, but his body went into that mode and released enough adrenaline and unlocked that reserves of strength that he was able to push it over him. Now his muscle fibers to all that shit was torn up, gone, just destroyed. You know, so he was in the hospital for a minute. But you have that. The problem here is that these people are so out of shape that even if that extra boost kicks in, they're still not going to be able to make it. You know, they're going to be running for your life, and I'm sorry, man, I can't go anymore. I'm just too tired, bro. You know, if they're going to get me, let them get me. That's that. If I die, I die. Do you understand what that even means? Like, are you that gone in the mind that you don't understand what it means to say something like that? Yeah, you know, if it happens, it happens. YOLO, you only live one life. Yeah? But these are the same people that are going to be crying louder than anybody else when the slightest thing happens. And the Most High knows that. That's why he got him in the trick bag. You got it.
2nd Ezra chapter 16 and verse 13. For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow.
Mhm.
His arrows that he shooteth are sharp,
Mhm.
and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world.
Yeah. And ultimately, his arrows are going into those missiles, because when you read in, of course, calamities as well, but the missiles are part of them. When you read in Isaiah, it tells you that, right? The weapons of the Lord's indignation. So those arrows being those missiles, which are going to be shot from the ends of the world, right? The different continents, mainly targeting America, but also America is going to shoot off some of theirs as well. So different places are going to be getting hit. Go ahead.
Verse 14. Behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return again.
So when this thing fully kicks off, just know that if you're seeing the start, that means every single other part in there is going to happen. So when you're seeing famines, that means pestilences are going to happen. You're seeing that pestilence, you're going to have the martial law. You're going to have the mass death. You're going to have the people on the earth being taken in a great number. You're going to have the husbands dying in the wars and all of that, as it is prophesied. All of those things are going to happen. Go ahead.
Behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return again until they come upon the earth.
Mhm.
The fire is kindled and shall not be put out till it consume the foundation of the earth.
Yeah, these are all representations of the Lord's judgment. Basically, Ezra is telling you that what I've seen is that God is so angry that the punishment he has declared for you guys is not going to stop until it actually happens. Doesn't matter what you do. Go ahead.
Like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer returneth not backward,
Mhm.
even so the plagues shall be set upon the earth, shall not return again.
And we come out and tell you the same thing and warn you again and again and again and again and again. And you'd rather get fed up with hearing the warning than to actually take heed to the warning. But it's just so interesting because these same people will turn around when all hell breaks loose, like they're not at fault. You know, like, but wait, I didn't hear you say that, or you know, I didn't know it was that bad. Yeah, I heard y'all talking, but I didn't know y'all were like it was this good to be this bad. What the hell did you think we were saying to you? Why do you think we were stressing the point so much? You didn't think that it was going to be that bad, so because of that, you didn't care. And now that it's that bad, you're crying about what? But
How is famine? That's kind of bad. How is nuclear missiles? Oh, that's kind of bad. How is something kind of bad? Or oh, it's not that serious. The scriptures talk about famine, pestilence. That's all, you know, viruses and stuff like that. Death, right? How is, as it says in Isaiah 13, women getting ravaged? How is that? I thought it was just a little bit. No. How is famine? Pestilence? Death? How is that? How is something kind of bad? How is something kind of bad? How is something kind of bad? How is that? 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 Especially where you women be out here. You think it's gonna be a little bit, you gonna get a lot. Yep. And it's gonna be much worse. Over sexualized society. You got it, bro.
Yeah, I got a quick one right here. This is the book of Ezekiel. Going back to the point that you made. Ezekiel chapter 3 and verse 4 says, "And he said unto me, Son of man, go get thee unto the house of Israel, which consists of 12 tribes, and speak with my words unto them." Speak with my words unto them. Speak with my words. The words are what? The scriptures. Unto them. Who? The Israelites. It says what? "For thou art sent not to a people of a strange speech and of an hard language, but to the house of Israel," meaning your own people. Okay? "Not to many people of strange speech and of an hard language, whose words thou canst not understand. Surely had I sent thee to them, they would have hearkened unto thee." Right? If I would have sent you to these other nations, they would have heard you. Okay? "Behold, I have made thy face strong against their faces, and thy forehead strong against their foreheads," meaning you're going to be in constant opposition with these people, man. They're always going to come against you, and that is why we are the prophets of the Lord, because the world's actions against us is an indication and a testament that we are the men of the Lord. Because we're literally going through everything that the Lord said we will go through if we come and serve him the way he's ordained us to serve him. Okay? You don't see all these videos that the elder Menachzak be doing about how these other hoe-ass Israelites are be popping up out of nowhere. You know, the rose up to play Israelites. They don't want no instructions. Prophesy unto us smooth things, niggas. That's them. And when the judgment and the correction keeps on coming, they saying, "Oh, why you prophesying these things? Prophesy unto us smooth things. Prophesy deceits. You know, cause the Holy One to stay away from us. We don't want to hear that. You know, we ain't no Israelites. Oh, there's a reason why the Israelites are such a cult. Oh, the Israelites this, the Israelites that. We're fools, man. It says, "As an adamant, harder than flint, have I made thy forehead. Fear them not, neither be dismayed at their looks, though they be a rebellious house." All right, and the Jewish people don't fit this description right here. I ain't nobody looking at the Jewish people as, "Oh man, they are rebellious people." Oh man, no. Right? There's all these laws that are being done for persecution and to keep people in behind bars. You don't see Jewish people behind bars. How many Jewish people you know are in jail right now? Like actually, meanwhile they're committing all these atrocities in the world. Where are they when you look at the incarceration system? It's mostly Jakes that's in there. Blacks and Latinos. They make up, was it 90 or 95% of the people who are in these so-called prisons, maximum penitentiary prisons, and so on and so forth. All right. So we don't want to hear about none of that shit, bro. This is all about the Israelites, and that's the end of it. Okay. It says, this is the point. It says, "And go get thee," Slakia, verse 10, "Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, all my words that I shall speak unto thee, receive in thine heart, and hear with thine ears. And go, get thee to them of the captivity." Who is in captivity? Israel. All right. Judah and Israel were oppressed together. Okay. Here in America, Babylon the Great. Okay. It says what? "Unto the children of thy people, and speak unto them, and tell them, Thus saith the Lord power." And that's exactly what we're doing. Okay. "Whether they will hear or whether they will forbear." Okay. So not everyone is going to get it. That's what the Lord said, regardless whether they're going to hear it or whether they're going to forbear it, go out there and do the work. That's why you see us out there every single week. Okay. Whether people listen or not. The other day, I forget who I was talking to, and I was saying how, you know, us being prophets of the Lord, we are out there, but people are not seeking us. For example, when you see brothers out there, you should see people flocking. You shouldn't see people passing by, and it's like they walk past us like we don't even exist. That is a representation of the words of the Lord being present, and people just walking past like it's not even there. So when the time comes, when the calamity comes, who do you think they're going to be looking for? The prophets. Because where did they hear these things that's happening? Where did they hear that from? They heard it from the prophets. Yo, those men were saying this. I used to hear this every week. Yo, they used to say this shit was going to happen, bro. I remember that. And now look, it's all happening. Just as they said will happen. It's literally word for word. You know? And where are they to explain? Like, what do we do next? What do we do now? See, then is when they're going to be looking for the Lord that we serve, the God that we serve. They're not going to be coming in here, yo, you going to tell me about the Bible and Christ loves us and because of the love of Christ and the blood of Christ? Nah. They're going to be coming up asking, yo, the God that you serve, I want to know more about that. I want to know more about him. But we ain't gonna be nowhere to be found. Fuck you think this is, man? All right, you got it, bro.
That's right. And just as they, because ultimately, what are they doing, right? When you go to Proverbs, the first chapter, them walking past us, they're walking past the word. Let's actually get that real quick. Let's jump to Proverbs 1. Um, and specifically the part where it mentions that they did not, basically take heed to the counsel of the Lord, because that's what they're doing, right? When they walk past, like Haran is saying, left and right, and they just say it's whatever. They're walking past, ignoring the counsel of the Lord, right? They would none of his reproof, even though they hear what's being said, and now some of them know it applies to them, but they don't care. That's really what it is. They don't care, because for somebody to stop and be told that, hey, nuclear destroy, whatever. When I heard that, I was like, wait a minute, hold on. I live here right now. So what are you talking about? I need to hear a bit more about this, right? When you say martial law and you say, like, can you tell me what is that? First, I want to find out what is that, and then why are you saying that's going to happen here? Because you're coming from a perspective of the world, but it shows you they're not prudent. They're not concerned with that, because they're just like, one, I don't know what that is, or two, I don't care, or three, I just got too many things I'm already dealing with. You got it, bro.
Proverbs chapter 1 and verse 30, I believe is which one.
Yeah.
It says, they would none of my counsel. They despise all my reproof.
Yeah, so where's the counsel of the Lord coming from? He has put that spirit on us to bring it out. And they would none of that. They wanted nothing to do with it. Right? And what was the second part on that?
Verse 31. Therefore shall they eat of the fruit of their own ways.
See, the fruit of your own way are the consequences of your actions. If you fail to prepare, you have prepared yourself to fail. Right? If you didn't get right with the Lord when you had the chance, then the Lord brings judgment, then you pretty much set yourself up. You're gonna get caught in that. When people are getting shot down, actually, physically, literally in the streets, and it happens to be a loved one of yours or somebody you know, or a bullet grazes your ear, and then your brain snaps into like, oh shit, this is real. For some people, they're not gonna see it until that very moment where they hear an actual bullet whisk past their ear. Like there was that scene, it was in Philly, where you had that like mass shooting scene it was captured on somebody's ring doorbell camera, and they just pop, 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 and then you had all the women and shit high. You had one of them just trying to get to the bottom, trying to fuck everybody else. I'm going under the bodies, and they just going pop, pop, and you can see the way Jake is shooting. You're like, bro, what are you shooting at? You're not. He just get. When they sending them, they don't even need to send in them troops. Those militias in down south, if they came up in there, y'all would be cooked. They just start shooting without aiming. They don't aim. They just the fact that the sound of the gun is going off, yeah. That side shit. If the side shit was so effective, why don't they do that? Why don't they train those in the military to say, hey, the first thing you want to do is you know why they would even turn their gun sideways? Nope. But it just looks cool to me. There's that video. The training grounds, and all you see is pill. Hey, what is this guy? Yo, somebody get this guy off these grounds, man. He would have been got in immediately. Yeah, you got it, bro.
Now I was saying that his eyes were closed when he was shooting. That shit was crazy.
Yo, for real.
There was a dude in that video that was in a wheelchair, and
on the shootout.
Yeah, and another dude used him as a human shield. And the crazy shit is that guy that was in the wheelchair was in the wheelchair from another previous shooting, and he died. And they used him as a shield. Like, Jake is diabolical.
Yeah, it's crazy.
What are you gonna do with the people like that, man?
Yeah, they need to take care of. And see, that's you have certain like elephants, right? In Ghana, for example, there's a certain where I think it's in the ear where they shoot an elephant to actually take it down. Because sometimes or in the forehead, I think there's a certain area our dad used to tell us. Because if you shoot it, if you could shoot an elephant a couple of times, and it's gonna take a while before it actually goes down. And if you're not careful and it's within range, it's gonna use that last energy it has to because that's why they have those tusks. Okay, people look at elephants like, oh, they just big. Think if the elephant stepped on you or pierced you with its tusks, you'd be cooked. So there was a specific area they would target when they wanted to take them down. I think it was in the ear. They would try to aim and then get the bullet into the ear because it could easily hit the brain or basically like take it down. You know, because these animals. So when the Lord sends judgment and He sends these wild beasts out here, they're like coming after your ass full speed. Jake already doesn't aim. So what's the point in even having a gun? They will probably drop the gun and run. When maybe your best bet might have been to slow it down a bit. No, they throw that shit somewhere and then try to run from a bear. You ever seen a bear try to climb a fence? You find out how agile a bear is. They look like a human being trying to climb a fence. They mad big and like chunky and shit. But when they move, they move. You know, they're like the agile big backs. You know what I'm saying? Bear edition. Yeah.
Now, I was going to mention what you mentioned when you hold the weapon to the side. I believe in Call of Duty has it. I think it's called tac stance. It's like a tactical thing. But even if you observe police officers, why do you think when they hold their weapon, they don't hold it like how Jake does?
Yeah.
They hold it with two hands. Because why? The
Recoil.
thank you. It's gonna think. If you're going like this, you're not being accurate. You're not hitting anything. But that's that movie stuff. I like to call cartoon characters. They just see stuff off of TV and just want to mimic it as well. That's not realistic. What you more see, like if you watch even Bad Boys to a degree, right? When they actually have both hands on it, like you mentioned, the recoil, the knockback. Because if you're not careful, especially if you have weak hands, that gun might hit you in your face.
It happened to somebody in the what they call that? The place where they train.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I forgot.
Yeah, that's
Shooting range.
the shooting range. It was a chick. She was. It was the you know those it's like a short version of an AK. So it shoots like rapid fire. That means it's more recoil. This bitch went over there, and that's why they specifically tell you when you're holding a gun, your arms are not straight. Okay, one of them is at least bent, so it gives you that because when your arm is bent, it's more stiff, and your shoulder is up because that recoil it's gonna push you back. So you got to sort of like stay stiff. This bitch went up in there. Fucking proud of shit. First two shots, that shit flew back right into her face. Next thing you know, she out here hurting shit. They're like, yo, why did you bring her over here, man? Somebody take her ass back home. You know? So they're not, and that's because number one, the sword is not our weapon, right? Like the Most High, that's not our power. Our power is not in the sword. That's Esau's blessing, right? Our power is in spirituality. It's in the Lord. Even the most skilled fighters of our people, when the Lord was against us, there was nothing we could do. But when the Lord was with us, the weakest of our people were running through these heathens. So what are we going to do? We're going to go to our strong suit. When shit hits the fan, we're going to go straight to our strong suit, which is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. I will pick spiritual power over carnal weapons any day. Got it? And we can finish it up in Proverbs.
Yeah, I'll start again. Proverbs chapter 1 and verse 31. Therefore shall they eat of the fruit of their own way and be filled with their own devices.
Yeah, so when calamity comes upon you and you're wondering why is this happening to me? It's a punishment for your own wicked ways. Go on.
For the turning away of the simple shall slay them.
Yeah, so when you're hearing the ways of the Lord, the words of the Lord, and you're turning away and you're just going about doing whatever you want to do, that's going to lead to your undoing. That's what it means, the turning away of the simple shall slay them. Go ahead.
And the prosperity of fools shall destroy them.
Yeah, how many times do you see where, I think even something like Jurassic Park, for example, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Before you go in there and they tell you exactly what to do and exactly what not to do, right? Okay, you're going to go in here. This is what you're going to see. Don't do this. Okay, some things they stress it to you. Do not do this for a reason. Okay, like they tell you when you go into these wildlife areas, don't feed bears. And then you got somebody that, oh wow, I wonder why they say that. He looks pretty hungry. And then there was that scene, right? The dude is feeding the bear, and the bear is like, it picks this, and then you can see the bear is looking at the dude from the corner of its eye, and then it's getting closer, and you notice the food is here, but the bear is here. And next thing you know, the bear comes out, he goes to attack the guy. And then there was one that said, don't get out your car, like when you're driving through this area. And you actually had a woman get out of the car. Her man was driving. She got out the car. The caption said she got out the car to argue with him. This idiot opened her door, got out the car, came to his side, and started arguing with him. A tiger pulls up and drags her ass back into the woods. And now her husband opens the door and he got to run after her. Now, I don't know how the story ended, but maybe it wasn't good. Because that tiger pulled her fast, like she was a toy. You know, all you see is a big ass tiger just pull out the woods, grab her, and boom, she's gone. Now you cook. Because you couldn't keep your mouth shut and stay in the damn passenger seat. And it specifically tells you, do not get out the car. So they stress these things, right? As we're going through the scriptures, they stress these things for a reason. And that's why the Lord has told us, and we come and stress these points for a reason. So when you don't listen, you're going to basically do this to yourself. You didn't listen. You turned a deaf ear to it, and now you're paying the consequences for it. That's just how it works. Got it?
Feed the bear, and you'll feed the bear.
Yeah, exactly.
You'll feed the bear.
Verse 33. But whoso hearkeneth unto me shall dwell safely, and shall be quiet from fear of evil.
Does it? Beautiful. And that's going to be the elect, right? Those that actually don't feed the bear, those that stay in the car, and they're going to be quiet from fear of evil. I bet the car that was behind that couple was like, yeah, make sure the doors are locked, and I don't care what we're doing, but we're not helping them. I'm sorry. You know? So that's the elect. The elect are going to do what the Lord said, no matter what. They're going to take heed, and they're going to dwell safely, as the scriptures say. And we hope to be a part of that number, and Lord willing, we are. But going back to the title, man, it's coming in hot. That's these prophecies, which are going to come with hard times. But those that put their faith and trust in the Heavenly Father, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, are going to be good and preserved. So anyway, brothers, got anything else? All right, cool. So with that, we're going to end it here. Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. In closing, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakah Kodash. Until next time, Shalom.